there, my name's April Sawtell and welcome to my channel. Today what I'm going to be doing is just showing you how to bind a quilt. I'm going to be binding a little mini quilt. It's going to be the same concept whether it's a large quilt or a little mini quilt like this one here. What you're going to need for this project is going to be some pins, you're going to need some backing, a quilt top, and some batting. I also have some painter's tape here. I do use painter's tape a lot in my sewing room, so I'm going to be just showing you how I put that down to secure the backing. Okay, let's get started. So what we're going to do, we're going to start right off with the backing. The backing is going to go face down. You're going to put that face down, and then what you're going to do is we're going to secure it down on the bottom. So we're going to take this, and we're just going to use the painter's tape, and we're going to secure all the corners. What we're looking for is just a nice flat piece of backing. We don't want any ripples in it that are going to get caught up on the back. You're going to want your backing to be a couple of inches bigger than your quilt top itself. So after I go around and I get all of my corners done, I'll start doing the middles. Now we've got to think that this could be done on, this could be a super large quilt, so you're going to need a pretty big surface if you have a large quilt to do this on. All this is, it is just a security to make sure there's no ripples underneath, because there's nothing like getting all those pins in and then finding that you've got lots of gathers. And then you've got to start over, and it is not fun because pinning is a very long process. So then I go around and I do the middles. Okay, that's all nice and flat and secure. I'm going to take my quilt batting. For this project, I'm just going to show it to you with some scrap batting I had, just because I'm making a piece of wall art for my sewing room. And I don't need to have, I don't need to go get a full piece that's, I'd just rather use my scraps. So just gonna put this together. I'm gonna just butt it up together. I'm not gonna sew it, I'm not gonna do anything. But it's very important to make sure this is flat. Flat, flat, flat. Then you're gonna go and you're gonna take your quilt top. I just made this little quilt top. If you watch my video on the wonky log cabin, same method. I just used it with some different colors, and I went in a little bit different angle. So I've got that down. Now I just need to make sure this is as flat as it can be and that there's nothing gathered underneath, which we know there isn't because it's all taped down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my safety pins. Now, you can use any kind of safety pins. You can use Basting spray. I'm using safety pins. A lot of mine have this bend in it. These are quilter's pins. And this is just another safety pin, just a regular safety pin. Mine are all mixed up together. Doesn't matter which one I use, but the ones that do have the bend in them are quite nice because you've got to push quite firmly, and what will happen is it just, when you go to latch it, it makes it a lot easier. So what I'm going to do is I start right in the middle and I push. You have to push hard, and you're going to gather all 3 layers, and then you've got to latch that. You want to make sure you're flattening after every pin. So what my rule of thumb is to use my fist, and I usually go about a fifth length all the way around my quilt. So what I'm going to do here is you always want to work from the inside, and then you're going to work to the outside. And I'm going to go right across in both directions. Okay, I don't have a lot of direction here because my fist is, you know, it's pretty small. So I'm going to go this direction now, pulling that nice and tight. Okay, now I'm going to work my way up and down. Push down hard and gather all 3 layers. Make sure you have plenty of fabric around the quilt top and plenty of batting. So when you're quilting, you're not gonna come off the edge and not have enough for the edge. So now I'm gonna come down toward the bottom, about my fist, latch it. And now I'm gonna go the same. I'm gonna come back here to the middle. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna keep coming down. I'm really taking a bite here and I'm going down, and if you really want to do this on something hard, because you've got to put some pressure in there to get that pin all the way through all those layers. You're going to want to, so you want to like flatten it, but you don't want to stretch it. If you stretch it, you could, it's going to want to spring back into place, and you really just don't want that. You're stretching it, but not pulling on it. You're just flattening it. Okay, then, and now we can take the tape off. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna flip it over, and now you can see it's nice and flat. What I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna take it over to my sewing machine. I'm gonna quilt it, and all I'm gonna do for this is I'm gonna quilt it with just some fancy stitches I have on my machine. This is just gonna be for my wall. I'm gonna put some fancy stitches on it, and I'm gonna bind it. And then I'm gonna hang it up. When I hang it up, I'm just gonna be doing it with push pins. I don't put it back. I don't put any hangers or anything on it. It's just gonna hang on my wall for a decoration. So as you can see, I like red. It's no secret. I'll show you some finished pieces that I've made. They're just a lot of fun. These were just some stitches I had done just on my sewing machine. I used some red thread just to make it pop a little. And as you can see here, I just added a little piece of red to pop, bound it in red, and there's the back. And I'll just hang that up with some push pins, and I like that a lot. Here's one I did. This was just with some pretty colors. And this one I did a little bit different. I just took some fabric and I tore down, I like shredded it a little bit. I pulled the strings out, and I used that between the binding and the quilt top. So it gave it like just a different dimension. I thought that was quite pretty and fun. I'll show you another one I made here. This one was a lot of fun. My friend Helen had given me some fabric, and all it is upholstery fabric. It's like the sun fabric for inside outside for your chairs, and I just thought it was so pretty that I just came up with this little idea. And I put some batting, I put some in between each flower, and I just sewed around it with a zigzag stitch. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and keep it simple. I'll see you next time. Have a good day. If you did like this video, please like and subscribe. Bye.